Al-Qaeda was not born in a vacuum. It was built from the infrastructure of the 1980s Afghan Jihad, a war funded by the United States, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan to bleed the Soviet Union in its own Vietnam. The CIA's Operation Cyclone provided over $3 billion in weapons and training to Afghan mujahideen and their Arab volunteer supporters. Osama bin Laden arrived in Afghanistan in 1980, initially as a logistics and fundraising coordinator for the Arab volunteers. The Afghan Jihad created three things that would prove catastrophically durable: a transnational network of trained jihadist fighters, a global fundraising infrastructure based in Gulf mosques and charities, and an ideology that had been operationalized, proven to work. When the Soviets withdrew in 1989, bin Laden returned to Saudi Arabia carrying all three. His subsequent expulsion, first to Sudan and then back to Afghanistan, produced Al-Qaeda as a formal organization focused on attacking the United States. The Global Jihad Network operates as a franchise rather than a hierarchy. Al-Qaeda Central provides brand, ideology, and strategic direction. Regional affiliates: Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, Al-Shabaab in Somalia, operate independently, adapting the franchise to local grievances and opportunities. The Islamic State represents a mutation of this model. It briefly controlled territory, ran a quasi-state with taxation and governance, and used that territorial base to recruit globally, promising not just ideology but a physical destination, the caliphate made real. Both models exploit the same underlying infrastructure, a global Salafi jihadist subculture maintained through religious networks, online forums, and the financial flows of Gulf charitable giving. The network is resilient precisely because it is not a single organization. Destroying Al-Qaeda's leadership structure in Afghanistan after 2001 did not destroy the network, it dispersed it. The statistical record of global jihad between 1988 and 2023 reveals both the scale and the limits of the phenomenon. The Global Terrorism Database, maintained by the University of Maryland, documents over 200,000 terrorist incidents in this period. The vast majority, roughly 60%, occur in 5 countries: Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, and Nigeria. The popular Western image of jihad as a global threat to the everyday lives of citizens in the United States or Western Europe is statistically misleading. The overwhelming victims of jihadist violence are Muslims in Muslim-majority countries. The September 11th attacks were an outlier, spectacular, historically consequential, but statistically exceptional. The American military and intelligence response to 9/11, which killed tens of thousands of civilians, destabilized multiple countries, and cost over $6 trillion, created new grievances and new recruits far more efficiently than Al-Qaeda could have done on its own. The lesson of the Global Jihad Network is that terrorism is a tactic, not an ideology, and defeating the tactic requires understanding the ideology that motivates it. Military force can disrupt operational capacity but cannot eliminate the underlying causes of radicalization. The most significant reductions in jihadist violence in specific contexts have come not from military campaigns but from political settlements. The Anbar awakening in Iraq in 2006 to 2007, when Sunni tribal leaders turned against Al-Qaeda in Iraq because of its brutality toward their own communities, was more effective than any American military operation. The lesson is also distributional. Policies that protect civilian populations, reduce corruption, and provide economic opportunity drain the pool from which terrorist organizations recruit. None of this is comfortable. It requires accepting that the response to terrorism must be political and economic as much as military, and that the political and economic dimensions take decades, not months. Thank you for watching The Shadow of Extremism. Sources and references are on screen. Subscribe to follow the full series.